What did I say?
During the meanwhilest.
During the meanwhilest. No, I don't like that at all.
Well, hello, miniature fans. That's fans of things that are tiny, not, small fans. Oh, never mind. It's us three again, back with more macro photography stuff. That'll be it, stuff. But before we begin, I must wish Dexter's lovely cousin Jack a very happy 13th birthday. He's such a wonderful little dog and the whole reason behind us getting Dexter in the first place. Right, happy birthday, Jack, and to business. Now, over the past 3 videos, we've been concentrating on doing macro photography. We had to look at my latest lens acquisition, then walked right through my workflow from capture to the final edit, and then latterly we looked at my 3 macro lenses. So maybe watching these videos has given you an appetite for getting out, or in this weather, staying in even, and taking pictures of the smaller things that surround you. And you want to give it a go. But giving it a go shouldn't mean having to spend ridiculous amounts of money, on a specialist macro lens. You can probably get away with using a lens you already have if it allows you to focus closely enough. Even if you don't have one of those, though, there are ways and means to get a really close-up image of your subject without spending a fortune. And I'll go over a couple of them now. There are 2 cheap and easy methods really for getting close. One is just to take the lens off your camera and turn it around, placing the front element nearest your camera and the rear one pointed at your subject. You can get reversing rings that enable you to actually connect your lens to your camera in this way, and there's a picture of one on screen right now. The other method, though, and the one we look at in more detail, is to employ some extension tubes. Now, you can get ones made by your camera and lens manufacturer, and I think Fujifilm do an 11 and 16mm tube for around about £75 each. But these are quite expensive. But of course, for that you get excellent build quality and you retain full electronic contact between your lens and body. Or you can buy a cheap, fully manual set, just like I've got here. This whole shebang cost me £13, and for that I got a lens mount for the camera side of things, 7, 14 and 21mm tubes, which can be used on their own or combined, and finally another attachment to mount your lens to the tubes. Now, you can get third-party tubes with electrical pass-throughs as well, but these are naturally more expensive at around the £50 and upwards mark. Now, regardless of whether you go expensive, cheap, or somewhere in the middle, the tubes all serve the same purpose to get you closer to your subject. Now, I attached these tubes to a really cheap Mica 50mm f2 lens, and then to my X-H2. And the changes in closest working distance, that is sensor or focal plane to subject, are really quite impressive. Now, on its own, the Mica can only get to 55 centimeters away from your subject, so not close at all. And this is the image I got of some flowers exactly that distance away. Quite a nice image, but with the tubes fitted, surely we can get closer and better. Now, shooting the same subject with the 7mm tube attached, I got to 22 centimeters away, and here's the image I got. Then I popped the 14mm tube on, and this got me to just 19 centimeters from the subject, and here is that image. I then went with the daddy of all the tubes, the 28mm one, and it's only got me to 17.5 centimeters from my subject, and resulted in this rather disappointingly soft image. For the lols, I then combined the 7 and 14mm tubes and got somewhere in between 17.5 and 19 centimeters working distance, and got what I think is the nicest image, this one right here now. Now, while these tubes undoubtedly get you closer, that benefit, like anything in photography, doesn't come cost-free. Firstly, the really close focus distance coupled with the increased magnification make getting a stable image a real issue, and you will absolutely find a tripod to be an essential partner. Focusing manually can also be tricky, as even tiny movements are exaggerated. So what I normally do is set the lens to its closest focus and then either move the camera or the subject until optimum focus is achieved. And I sometimes use a macro focus rail, just like this one, to help with this. Lastly, you'll only get a razor-thin depth of field, even at your lens's smallest aperture, meaning you don't get much of your image in focus at all, and this only gets narrower as the tube or tubes get longer. You can, of course, overcome this with focus bracketing and stacking, and if you want to try this, I'll link to my my recent video covering this topic. Problems aside though, this setup allows for some fantastic macro images and is well worth having a go at. You will be surprised at the results you can get with a little practice and perseverance. And with a better starting point than my dirt cheap Mica lens, I'm sure results would only get better. But I wanted to showcase in this video that macro on an extreme budget is absolutely doable. I mean, the whole setup in this video came in at around £80 in total. That's lens and tubes. Now, I'm not sure whether you can still get the Mica lens, but there are plenty of those alternative, cheap Chinese manual focus ones out there from like 7 Artisans, TT Artisans, Pergia, that sort of thing. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this last video in our macro mini-series, pardon the pun, and the series as a whole. Now, if you haven't seen any of the videos from earlier this week, then, go back and check them out. Can I also take this opportunity to remind you that I do have a blog, also called During the Meanwhile, which, along with twice weekly posts, also has a number of free photographic guides, including one dedicated to macro photography, and I'll post a link to my blog below. Go and take a look on it. It's all free. Right then, until next week, and God knows what we'll be making a video about. Just be nice, okay? Take care.
Look out there, here's the kid that's gonna get the blues when you go away. I'm on fire 'cause I'm in love with a girl who's not the girl she was when I was out with her. I saw you in the garden, baby, you look so debonair. Beware of the flowers 'cause I'm sure they're gonna get you, yeah. Say goodbye, baby, I'll just kick myself inside. I really wanted to go home. You might say that today was the very last time you'd walk this way. Go tell him on your own. Well, I'd tell him where to go to, baby, but you know I wouldn't dare. Beware of the flowers, 'cause I'm sure they're gonna get you, yeah.